Hello everybody, this is the next in our series of videos where we look one by one, a deep dive into the playbook for each of the classes. On today's turn is the Cleric class. Clerics are a very flexible class. They're mainly support facility to other players in a party, particularly from healing, but also in terms of other support abilities such as to bless and so on. They have quite a wide range of skills, wide range of spells, and they're also pretty good at fighting. They're all-rounders, but mainly in the support role, although at a pinch they can be used to tank and in combat. Okay, so let's now look at the playbook. Sometimes causes OBS to crash, but here we go. Right, so they have a D8 squish dice, and they gain spells from level 1, like druids and wizards. The main thing in creating a cleric backstory is to create their divine profession. Now, almost all clerics would have gone to some form of seminary, some form of religious school to learn their basic cleric skills. And here you absolutely have to, in creating a cleric, set down a divinity, their deity, and their religion. And their deity and their religion will determine their secondary spell genre. Now, which they gain from level 1. They'll automatically gain the spell genre of divine spells plus one other spell genre depending on the religion. Now, a GM and players should define pantheon or pantheons of religions specific to their campaign. We give an example of pantheons and a pantheon for our default Varna campaign in the book. So, for example, there are gods of war, there are gods of nature, there are gods of love, and each of these will have a holy weapon, a holy symbol, and a spell genre. Gods of fire, gods of storms, which would use elemental lightning damage, and so on. So it is possible. It's a unique feature of Shatterheart, unlike D&D, to have a cleric that can cast fireballs if you're a god of fire. But that's actually slightly limiting, because if you're an elemental god, then you can only cast spells that's related to that element, which is 2 of the 4 elements. You can't cast on all 4. So, I mean, that's a weakness. Elemental is powerful spell genre, but it's limiting. So you shouldn't see them as super mages. No, it's limited. The main spell genre will always be divine spells. Then you get bonus spells according to your religion. Also, there will be restrictions based on religious strictures. For example, some gods will require you to be a vegetarian, or to not indulge in certain activities, and so on, to be like Vestal virgins, and so on. In terms of skills, they're not a class that will have a lot of basic skills as class skills. The only skill you have really is persuasion as a class skill. In terms of specialist skills, are theocentrism and theology. Theology is used in place of the religion skill. It's more specialized than religious skill. You get more information about your religion from your theology skill. You also understand a fair bit, like with the religion skill, of other religions. Theocentrism means having God and the divine as your central concern, and you actually roll against theocentrism for certain key clerical abilities. we recommend that Riz is your primary attribute, which will then go over to Adil and the theocentrism skill. But theology as well, resolve is important. Also in terms of your focus points, you get a bonus focus point as a cleric, opposed to as a caster, compared to martial classes. If you want to be a fighting cleric, then you can have beef or target as your primary attribute. Although if you want to be a fighting cleric and really want to specialise in that, it's probably better to be a paladin. So there's a very long list of religions here. It can be customised at will according to your campaign setting, but we've tried to make it fairly balanced. Okay, so let's now go over to the cleric starting ability. You do get cantrips, and you get 3 support and self healing cantrips at level 1. Bless or Bane, bless aids 1d4, 1 action point, and Soothing Hands, 2 actions. You fully cure any condition of one member of your party. So that's powerful stuff. You also have Invocation Heal, which is kind of a self heal. Invocation really means to use the ability of your god. It's the god that gives you your powers, gives you your magic powers, gives you your faith points, which is your focus. Now, there are prayers. Prayers are abilities. They're magic, but they're aiding and supporting abilities. Won't go through each of these, but they're all listed here in terms of their ability. Prayer of Aid, where you the difference between a bless is aid, it's on one member of the party. Bless or Bane is on all of them. Prayer of Healing is probably the main prayer. It grants you a minor heal. A minor heal is 1/4 of your squish points. Gain half of that partial success on a roll. Critical failure, you roll critical success. It's double. But of course it's not automatic. So it is certainly buffed in comparison with Dungeons and Dragons, where you have to upcasting, which I don't like. It's complicated, using up all your spell slots. Here rather we use focus points, faith to control that. If you're very successful in a heal, you recharge your faith points in any event. Now, healing is 2 action points or as a reaction. The ability to use a prayer of healing as a reaction should not be discounted. It's very powerful. If one of your compatriots takes a major blow that would otherwise kill them, you can always use the reaction to do it there and then. Now, no bonus actions in the game. So if you're going to heal, it's a serious commitment, because you can attack, strike with 1 action, then you have to use all your remaining action points, commit to healing. Now there is a ability you can gain through leveling up called Swift Healing, which means you can reduce it to 1 action. And many clerics specialising in healing might want to consider that. Now it's very flexible, the prayer of healing. You can throw extra faith points at it to gain extra amounts of healing. There's also the prayer of damnation, which adds damage. Famous cleric ability, let's come over here, is the prayer of turning, which again scales up with level, which does damage or blocks, equivalent of a charm. You can't come forward if you turn undead, and if you roll well on the turn undead, you're going to cause damage or just cause them to be banished, evaporated. So again, that's one of the main reasons you bring along a cleric in order to be able to turn the undead, particularly in those. Very unwise to enter a mega dungeon which has lots of undead unless you have a cleric in the party or a paladin there to push. Now there are various specialization abilities for clerics. They're kind of a mixture. I mean, they have some of the innate combat abilities they gain every other level of the fighting classes. They have some of the abilities that enhance casting, well, a much smaller number of abilities for casting, and a few abilities which aid healing or just the general abilities of the cleric. So you can specialize your cleric in various ways according to which of those you use. They have similar combat actions as paladins. They have a slimmed down range of combat actions compared to warriors, and they have a number of specialist abilities such as Canticle, which is a song, and Hymn of Resolve, which act as general support abilities, and Shield of the Righteous, and so on. In terms of the leveling abilities, again, you get these at second level and every other level. And these are very much religious based, such as confession and exercise and so on. And God, I need your help. God, I need your help is a special request to your God for assistance. Blasphemers must burn. At the very highest levels, beatified and ascended, you become a saint, a living saint. I think it's fairly straightforward, not as long a playbook as some of the other classes, because we're getting into casters, and of course casters, you really need to go through the individual spells in order to be able to understand their full range. And because they get all these prayers and cantrips at first level, that makes up for the fact that they have a fairly limited range of spells, and these are innate spells. They're just learned. You don't need to occupy a spell slot as you do if you're a wizard. Okay, thank you very much, and in the next episode we'll talk about druids. Bye.